Hey, it's Diego. What do you do if you feel like you're not enough? I'm going to give you a strategy right now that you can use so the next time you feel like you're not enough, you come out of it feeling so much more capable, so much more beautiful, so much more strong. And I love the strategies that are really easy to remember. So that way when you're caught up in the emotion, they're very easy to remember. So when's the last time that you felt you weren't enough? Was it in your health? Was it your wealth? Was it your relationships? Was it all of them? And I want you to step back into that experience now. This is the moment right now. This is the first step. I want you to step back into that experience and see what you saw then. See what you saw then. Feel what you felt then. What did you say to yourself then? You said something to yourself, didn't you? Some version of I'm not enough. I'm not what? I'm not beautiful enough, caring enough, loving enough. I'm not self-loving enough. I'm not thin enough. I'm not smart enough. Or maybe another version. I'm too what? I'm too fat. I'm too dumb. I'm too shy. What did you say then? It's important for you to step back into that experience now. And the next thing I want you to do is to transform that. So that way you transform it when you're back in that experience the next time. Transform it into what it actually is. I'm not enough. So the first step, I'm not beautiful enough. The second step, I'm not enough. Because it's going to be very easy for you to do that when you're in the emotional experience. I'm not enough. That might even be your trigger in that moment. I'm not enough. And the next thing is I'm going to tell you something that no self-development person will probably ever tell you. You're not enough. And before you turn this off and call me an asshole, you see, you're not enough. You're not just enough. You're not enough. You're not just enough. You're so much more beautiful than enough, so much more caring than enough, so much more loving than enough. You see, that statement, I'm not enough, you are not enough, has so much power to it when we bring the power to it. You see, we're either going to be using that statement or it's going to be using us. We have the power to transform that statement, to emphasize certain words within that statement. I'm not enough, to add words to that statement. I'm not just enough. I'm so much more enough. I want you literally to say that to yourself. I'm not enough. I'm not enough. I'm so much more than enough. I'm not just enough. And then the fourth step. You see, if you feel like you're not enough, it's what connects you to every single person on the planet. You see, everybody feels like they're not enough. In fact, as a civilization, we feel like we're not enough. If you look at the entire evolution of the human species, of mankind, there's various points when we felt like we weren't enough. We felt like we weren't just enough for the earth that we sent ourselves to the moon. You see, every time that we feel like we're not enough as a civilization, we progress, don't we? We hit a new world order. And it's no different for you because you are a person within that civilization. You see, there's two types of people on the planet. When you realize that you are not enough, that just means something. That there's a gap between where you are and where you want to be. And there's two types of people. The ones that focus on where they are and the ones that focus on where they want to be. You see, some people will focus on the valley and they'll say these destructive things to themselves. Sometimes they reach some level of connection with somebody else, but I promise you, those are not beautiful connections. The beautiful connections are when you find your power, your beauty, your strength, your love, your radiance, whatever that is. And that's when you realize something. Not only is it a valley, but it's also the point of your greatest strength. The point when you realize that there's only one way out, up. Look up to the moon. Look up to that beautiful, beautiful future that you have ahead of you. You see, you're not just enough. This is the moment in your life when you realize that you're headed somewhere else. And if you do, if you look up, you're going to look at that peak and you say, how can I get there? That's what you need to do last. How can I get there? How can I get to that place? And you're going to start asking yourself questions that are very, very directed instead of destructive. And you're going to start finding solutions. I promise you, we are a species that is designed to find solutions. Solution that can guide us to new strengths, to new heights. That's the process. Go to that experience. Afterward, tell yourself, I'm not enough. Rephrase it. I'm not just enough. Realize you're connected to all of civilization. This is the moment of progress, your moment of greatest strength, the moment when you break free, break through. And then ask yourself a directed question, not just a destructive one. Because when you start asking yourself those beautiful questions, the right connections will come around you. The ones that pat you on the back, not pity pat you on the back. So do that. And I'll tell you something. If you rewind, I would love for you to rewind this back and watch it again and again and again. Because if you watch it once, you have the knowledge. But knowledge doesn't mean much. It's wisdom. Wisdom. When we do it again and again and again, so that way it's automatic. Because I promise you something. At various points in your life, you're going to feel like you're not enough. It's what connects us to the human species. It's what happens in life. And when you feel that and you realize that that's the stimulus, and you're now your beautiful response is, I am so much more capable, so much more prudent, so much more loving, and I have all the strength and all the power. I will find the solution. That's a very beautiful thing. And I'll tell you something, your family and friends probably go through the same experience because every person on the planet feels like they're not enough. So I would love for you to tag your friends and share this with your friends and family so that way they get this experience and they do this again and again and again. Do it as many times as you can. Watch this at 10, 25 times, whatever, so that way you experience it, you feel it. And if this is your first time watching me, hello, thank you, I love you. And if you want more, if you ask yourself those questions, how can I love myself more? How can I connect more? How can I have more beautiful relationships? How can I feel my own strength, my own capability? Well, I have videos for that too. Just head over to my page, like it, and I'll show up in your newsfeed from time to time with beautiful emotion because we all deserve beautiful emotion. So I love you, thank you, and I'll sign out the way I sign out every single one of my videos. Don't forget about a thing called love.